Hello. That was a bit of a mess up. I hope that first part didn't go live. If it did, this is the real one. Ignore the other one. That was a big mess. But I think that's the reality of lives when you're not ready when the camera starts. So welcome to today's live. It's Tanya from Botanicamy, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about citrus oils and also the chemical constituents so that we can understand why they are so absolutely amazing. So the first thing that becomes very apparent with citrus oils is how uplifting they are. And there's a scientific reason for that too. But let's just go into a little bit of the more logical detail of if you remember back when you were a child, okay? So I love grapefruit. It's one of my favorite citruses of the citrus family. And the reason for that is I think, yes, the aroma is beautiful. Yes, I love the pink color on the inside for the ruby ones. But I remember back to my childhood days when my mom cut it the night before and she cut the grapefruit in half and then put a little bit of sugar over the top of it and let it sit in the fridge overnight so that we would have this very nutritious, yes, high sugar content. Let's just keep that aside. But children need sugar, right? You need the energy. And then you have this very refreshing, very tasty, sour, sweet, beautiful grapefruit for breakfast. So grapefruit is one of my favorites. And when I smell the grapefruit, or when I even if you just lightly press on the skin, those aromatic molecules actually then go into the sky or into the air, and you're breathing in that aromatic compounds, and they're just so uplifting. And for me, obviously, grapefruit is one of the better ones. There's so many various citrus oils out there. Oh, hello, Emery has just joined. Welcome. You missed the beginning part where I made a really, really big boo-boo. But anyway, no stress. You're in now. So yes, grapefruit is one of my favorites. There's obviously quite a lot of citrus out there, and yes, you might think that they all smell the same. I promise you they don't. When you actually go into the chemical constituents of these different citruses, you will also then start to understand how they have different properties. Okay, so let's first start with grapefruit because grapefruit, I've also got a very good quality essential oil of grapefruit, and I use this in the mornings together with my rosemary. And the rosemary I use obviously to focus my brain and to wake up my brain and get it going. But the grapefruit is the uplifting part with that, and it pairs really well together. So for me, I use grapefruit daily for that kind of thing. And just side tip on the side is if you're someone that struggles with food cravings, grapefruit is going to be your best friend. All right, because it just calms down those absolute cravings. So pop some drops of these 3 to 4 in a diffuser on a daily basis around you. You can even make a roller ball from it and put it onto your pulse points. But just be careful in summer. I'm going to talk a little bit about the photosensitivity of these citrus oils, and you've got to be careful in summer specifically for the citrus oils. Okay, so let's talk about these citrus oils. Most of them contain limonene. All right, that's the sort of biggest percentage of what they contain, and limonene is what we call a monoterpene alkene. If I'm saying that correctly, I hope I'm saying that correctly, alkene. And because of these high percentages of limonene in the citrus oils, we're working with oils that have got a very high antioxidant capacity. And if you think about the backbone of the limonene, it's basically carbon molecules where there is no functional groups. And there's quite a few double bonds. And what that allows, these double bonds between the carbon molecules, and because there's no other functional groups, and because of the ring structures that you have, it's very easy for these molecules to accept the lone electrons that are floating around in free radicals. And you can there's so much research available now showing how free radicals and free radical damage is really not good for your health, because they damage cells, and in the damage, then the genetic material also becomes damaged, and you could end up with a lot of cells proliferating exponentially without going into the normal cell cycle of cell death. And then you're sitting with an issue if your immune system doesn't pick up those cells. So having oils available that are so high in antioxidant quality is definitely something to look into. All right, so the limonene part is biggest part in grapefruit. And then you also have a smaller percentage of gamma terpenine. That's also part of the same alkene group. And the reason that's important is because of the cleansing properties. So you're sitting with oils that are fantastic at cleansing, and that is very important for skin, number one, and also for surfaces. So a lot of these oils have got certain extras in there for chemical components that we can speak about that's gonna give you additional benefits. But something like grapefruit, mainly limonene and beta sorry, not beta, gamma terpenine. So both of those are very high in cleansing properties, okay? Also very interesting, I actually just read the other day that a lot of the products that you have for dogs, shampoos, those kind of things, actually contain a very high concentration of limonene. And the reason for that is because they are very good for pests and fleas, and they actually kill all stages of the flea life cycle. So a lot of dog products actually have the limonene in there. They also now starting to investigate using these natural antioxidants instead of the chemical ones in foods as preservatives, because a lot of the chemical antioxidants, in other words, the ones made by man in a lab, have actually now started being shown or have been shown in research to be carcinogenic. And you know what that means, right? It's the cells that are proliferating without being stopped and without being killed. So when you can start incorporating essential oils into homemade products or purchase them off the shelf, you're sitting with a very good solution, natural solution for things like fleas, for dogs even. All right. Then let's look at the different properties of these different oils. So grapefruit, yes, very nice and smelly, fantastic. Then if we switch to something like bergamot, bergamot actually contains, additionally, over the gamma terpenine and the limonene, bergamot actually has got a lot of calming and soothing properties in there. That's the reason they make Earl Grey tea, and why a lot of people become very calm and serene when they're drinking Earl Grey tea, right? So that's because of the linalool, or linalool in Afrikaans. I don't know how you say that in English. Terribly sorry. But that it's also got that additionally in there. So say you run out of Earl Grey tea and you want the fragrance of the bergamot in your tea, all you do is you put your black tea bags in a glass container with a tight fitting lid, and drop 1 or 2 drops of bergamot inside the glass bottle and shake it about. And then the fragrance, the aromatic compounds from the bergamot is actually going to seep into those tea bags. And then you have the most beautiful, strong Earl Grey tea. And because a lot of us actually like the black tea with the Earl Grey is actually on its own. They just harvest the bergamot plant, but then you don't taste a lot of tea. So when you're making your own one with a strong black tea bag with the bergamot essential oil in the same bottle, it's got a punch from both of them, the black tea and the bergamot. So it's very calming and very relaxing. So again, very cleaning. Because of the limonene that's in there, but because it's got the linalool extra, that's what's going to be the calming one. Another one that's really good for energizing, but at the same time calming you down, there's my kumquat, is the kumquat oil. And the reason the kumquat is calming and giving you focus, it's got an additional component in there as well, and that's because of the myrcene. I know I'm going into quite a lot of the chemistry at the moment, but that's the stuff that fascinates me. The science behind the oils is just the best thing for me. So kumquat, over and above cleaning, is actually going to be calming as well. All right. And then if we look at something like red mandarin, red mandarin has got a very high percentage of the gamma terpenine over and above the limonene that's already in there. So if you're someone that's going to wash your floors, right, and you want some extra grease fighting power because you've got a lot of kids running around dropping food on the floor, or oil in your kitchen floor especially, I mean, with all the oil that's dripping while you're busy cooking, try red mandarin because of the additional cleansing power that we get in there, because of the gamma terpenine percentage, which is higher in the red mandarin. Okay. If we then start looking at comparing red mandarin versus green mandarin, unfortunately, I don't have green mandarin yet. It's on the way. It's going to be on an order very soon. The difference between the red and the green mandarin, besides the fact that it's coming from different fruits, it's the same tree, but the red mandarin is harvested when the fruits are already ripe, and the green mandarin is when they are unripe. So here, let me also just say a little bit about the sourcing of these oils, because here the green mandarin has actually got a very good story. So the green mandarin, before it gets to the red mandarin, when you have a mandarin tree, you actually have to take 70% of the fruit off at the start of the season, so that the 30% that remains on the trees actually has space to grow and to ripen and to grow into fully adult-sized fruit. So the green mandarins used to just get dropped onto the floor for decomposition or to get decomposed, but it's waste. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that's going to waste. So when they discovered all the very good chemicals or components that you find in green mandarin, they've now started making a green mandarin essential oil from that. And the reason I'm so excited about green mandarin is not just that it's got that grease fighting power. Okay, so yes, very good for surface cleansing, very good for uplifting the mood because of the citrus fragrance that is in there. But green mandarin also has a flowery smell to it. So a lot of people actually make homemade perfumes that include the green mandarin. But over and above that, because the mandarins have not yet ripened, the chemical component that is usually in the citrus oils, which causes the photosensitivity, in other words, the part of the oil that could make your skin sensitive to the sun, green mandarin doesn't contain that. What does that mean? You can now start using the green mandarin for skin health as well, because in winter, we can use all of the citrus oils, right? But in summer, you shouldn't go into the sun 12 hours at least after you've applied a citrus oil to your skin, whether it's diluted or undiluted. It's not a good thing to have them on your skin because it could develop into a sensitivity or pigmentation, that kind of thing. And we don't want to get into that situation because we love our oils so much. We want to use them all the time. Oh, fantastic. There's more people watching. Hello, Krista and Almarie. Oh my goodness, you guys have published. I'm famous today. And Lauren Concha, all the way from Stellenbosch. This is one of my very good psychologist friends in Stellenbosch. Thank you for joining. So you can learn a little bit more about citrus oils and Tanya from Botanic and me today. So yes, let's get back to green mandarin. Sorry, off the tangent there. So the green mandarin, because it doesn't have that component that makes it photosensitive, it's going to be a very good oil to include in things like your homemade cleanser or in your skin toner, because it's so good at cleansing the skin, and then you won't have the side effect, not really a side effect, but the nastiness of possible skin sensitivity. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about kumquat, where kumquat is very good at calming you down, and bergamot is also very good at calming you down and making you less anxious. A lot of children actually benefit quite a lot from wild orange and lemon. So lemon is extremely detoxifying. It's very good at purifying the air, but they have also found for specifically children that struggle with attention span and that become very active, lemon and wild orange are both very good oils for them, for adults too. I alternate my lavender with wild orange in my diffuser at night to sleep a little bit better. But both of them are really uplifting, but they also help you focus so that you can concentrate a little bit better, and it calms you down. So it's fantastic when you can have both of those benefits in one thing. So lemon and wild orange for those kiddies that run around like mad lunatics, you definitely have to get you some of those. And when you then combine that with a rosemary, you are going to have a brain superpower going on. All right. Then we also have other oils like tangerine, which is very similar to mandarin. And we also have, what else do I have here? Lime. Lime is one of my absolute favorites. I don't know, it's just because maybe it's reminiscing and thinking about my fantastic trips in Thailand last year. But lime is one of those oils which has got a little bit of a sweeter aroma compared to the lemon. It's got very good degreasing activity. So those sticky labels on glass bottles, lime oil is definitely one that you want to use for that. Plus the uplifting effects that you can have with it. So maybe I should just quickly run by that home cleaner that I use for all my kitchen surfaces that I keep on talking about. Because while you're cleaning, you also get you're getting the same uplifting experience from these citrus oils, but it's fantastic at degreasing. So 1/2 cup of vinegar, 1.5 cups of water, and then you can add 5 to 10 drops of any citrus oil, because they are very antiseptic, number one, and they are very good at taking care of those grease stains and getting the greasy stuff off your countertops. All right. So number one of citrus oils, very important thing, very good thing about them is the high content of limonene. And the limonene is part of the reason why they are so very uplifting and part of the reason why they are such good antioxidant support. Okay. Then we're also looking at some of these oils that have got additional calming chemicals in there, like the myrcene or the linalool, which are in the bergamot, as well as the kumquat, okay? And then those ones like the red mandarin that have got the increased percentage or the higher percentage of gamma-terpenine, they are going to give you some extra cleansing power. Yeah, so yes, I've got a lot of essential oils. in citrus, and I use them daily in my diffuser to uplift my mood. But if there are any of these essential oils that you want to learn more about, please just pop a comment after this live post so that I can give you some more information, because I could literally talk for days about the chemistry behind these oils. And I thank you for joining in today. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about the citrus oil. And yeah, let's start the conversation. Let's start talking about lessening the toxins and which of these essential oils you can start incorporating into your daily life to benefit your health, but also having a clean home and an uplifting environment so that your mood can be improved dramatically. Thank you. See you next week. Bye.